How's it going, friends, enemies, people that hate me, people that think I'm an idiot, people that love me? It's great to see you. Hey, got some stuff I want to talk about. It's going to be like progression on projects, progression on thoughts, progression on builds. This is going to hit you at home pretty good, and I hope it's going to help you out. Let's go. So currently what I'm doing is I'm taking my linkage off that I made the other night in the past video. If you didn't see that, you're going to want to jump back and check that out. So now it's a couple days later, and I've took leaps and bounds in my planning, in my fabrication. I just can't leave well enough alone sometimes. Today's been kind of a bad day. Halfway through yesterday was not a great day. It was kind of terrible at work, and even today I just don't feel good. I got a stomach bug or something, and you know, I said tonight, I'm gonna go home and lay on the couch, try and take care of whatever's ailing me. But I didn't call in sick to work at my day job, so therefore I feel it's important not to call in sick on my second job, which is Jim Bob's Service. Now, yeah, it's not really a job and no one's really paying me right now, but I know there's people out there that, a handful, enjoy watching my stuff. And they want to see the progression on this project, so I got to make sure that I put it out there. So this is the linkage I made right here. Okay, I made this the other night on the channel. You guys seen it. I welded this tab on. This bolts to the crankcase. This goes where the governor used to go in the motor, because you know that's threaded now. There's no more governor rod. So that's how that was mounted, and that's the wheel. We talked about linkages. We talked about all that. So this piece is still good. We haven't changed anything on the bracketry. There is some cleanup welds I want to do. I want to clean up the welds, and I want to paint it and stuff like that. But I had a thing yesterday, and after I built this, I didn't feel great about it, you know? And I'm like, I gotta make that better. That's not, I mean, it'll work, but it's not, this has gotta be trick. It's gotta be trick, it's gotta be low budget, it's gotta be something you can build at home with basic tools like I have here. So that's my goal. I could go out and buy a throttle linkage, maybe the one that I want. I don't think so, because they don't. I have my reasons for building this one. I've said that before in the video too. It's just me. It's what I want. That's the build. That's how I want it. So that's how I'm going to build it. So I got my bracketry right here in the vise. You've seen that. And this is the wheel that I just took off it right here. Okay. I want to show you progression. I said earlier I want to talk about progression, fabrication. All right. This is the initial. I'm going to put it in a set of pliers so you can see the full thing. This is the initial piece that I built for this project. How's that look? Looks pretty wonky, right? This was the initial thought in the thought center of this throttle assembly. This one is from the other night. This is the one I thought that was going to be the real deal. Okay. Would have worked. We could have made it work. Problem was, my linkage was going to be really sloppy in these holes, and it was going to be really unpredictable about what might happen. This popping out, whatever. Plus, on the other side, I got to figure out how to build this pedal, and I have to figure out what I'm going to use for a cable. That's another thing. So then we move on to this, which was handcrafted the other day. And this is the answer right here. This is the final guy. This guy is going to go on here. I'm going to have to increase my hole size in the middle because it's not meant for this bolt. I left it that way. I'm like, let's not drill it out too big. Excuse me. Until we get to our collared bolt so we know the exact size of it. Now, if I can put this up to the camera without Vern freaking out and shutting off, which, you know what, I don't even care. If you get a good look at this, and I'm going to have my pointer, you get a good look at this. This is going to be the hole right here that goes up to the carburetor. And I just happen to have that linkage right here that I built for it. You can see the size of that Z-bend. Well, that Z-bend is that big because this thing's like a 1/4 inch thick. It's a 1/4 inch piece of aluminum. It was much easier to work with. It was scrap. I didn't buy it. So we can put that right in there like that, okay? And it's going to kind of sit like that on the machine, right? This goes your carburetor up here. So, that being said, I was like, all right, the reason I needed this piece to be so thick is because I knew I was going to get a cable. I knew I had a cable, I just didn't know where it was. And that's where that box right there, that you can see, came into play. I found that box the other day. I said, I knew I had that somewhere, and I had it at work at Western. Not here, I don't know why. It was leftover parts from Charlie's mini bike build. That was long time ago. So I had some cables left over. And then I found this cable right here. This is a nice, easy slide cable. This is going to go from the carburetor linkage attachment that we're building now to the foot pedal, which we haven't even thought about building yet, but we will. So it moves, it's really free, easy, it's the way we want it, okay? The reason I did this is because I wanted a slide-in cable type situation design, okay? And so if I take this is probably the wrong side, and if I slide it in there, the way I built it, that cable's gonna lay down just like that. But on the machine, and I can't, it's hard to do without blocking it with my fingers, on the machine it's gonna sit like this, okay? So it's gonna be open, close, open, close. See how that's working there? So what we did with this, guys, is I used aluminum because A, it's thicker, it's 1/4 inch, but also it's easier to work with and it's easier to make this happen. Now, I don't have a Haas CNC and I don't have a Bridgeport. Wish I did, maybe someday I will. This is all hand tools right here. I took a drill bit and I drilled a hole the exact diameter of this slug right here. I can't tell you off the top of my head what size that was, but it was exactly this size, okay? I knew in my mind the placement of said hole from the night before when I was staring at it, all right? So I knew where to put it. So I put that, I drilled right through here with that drill bit, okay? Now I simply took a hacksaw. I hope you can see this, but I took a hacksaw and I made a slot right here. And I opened that slot up to allow the cable to slide through. Then I took a smaller drill bit. I do believe it was an 1/8 inch. I'm not positive. And if I can hold this up to you without Vern moving, you can see the groove in it. You see the groove? There's a groove in there. That groove is to accept the cable, all right? Because if you just put your cable in like so, and you try and bend it back, it's not going to bend because you're hitting the wheel. So I grooved it. In this groove, I took an 1/8 inch drill bit and I just grooved it and grooved it and grooved it till I got to about this angle right here. And then I laid the drill bit in here and I just kind of opened her up a little bit. And that's kind of what we were looking for. So this is where we're at now on this. I have to drill out this center hole to match said shaft bolt, and we can move forward. Now I know exactly what size this hole needs to be to fit this collard bolt because of the old piece here. I found my drill bit and I matched it up perfectly to that. And now we're going to take the new aluminum one and we're going to drill it out so it's the correct size. I'm going to clamp this in the vise and then I'm going to move you guys down into the action because I know you're way out there and I don't want it to be hard to see. So come on down here and you can see what's going on. Just like that. So we just got to open this up a little bit. And like I said, guys, this is, we're keeping this backwoods. We're keeping this low budget. Okay? Simple tools. And my vise needs to be tightened down. And I forgot I bent this drill bit the other night. You can see it wobbling. Alright, so in theory, this should be the perfect size for this collared bolt, which it looks to be pretty tight to me. Now we just got to shim it out with our plastic shims, because we have our plastic shims right here. I think I had 4 of them and a stainless on the first wheel. This wheel's a lot thicker, so it's going to take less. So let's just I want to clean all this up, but let's just mock this up and see. Let's see, which way does this go? It's going to go like this. Hey, look, Vern's watching my hands. He never does that. He's really confused right now. The poor guy's freaking out. He's jerking around. He's looking for my face. It's meant to follow my face, not my hands. And I'm trying to figure out, like right now, see what he's doing? And he wasn't even supposed to turn on, and he did. So I just turned him back off again. It's a robot camera tripod that works on hand signals. And, you know, it just doesn't work out that well. So we don't want to be any higher than that. That could work, but it might be a little tight. So let's take one of these out. Well, let's put this stainless washer in here first that is thicker, or thinner, I'm sorry, than the nylon. I want nylon because I want it to move easily. Alright, that seems a little better. So let's go ahead and put this thing in there. I need to move these boxes. I need to clean that. I need a shop. This place is way too small and packed. There we go. Alright, so even that is a little bit too... Man, I'm dropping all my Jim Bob hats. Jim Bob hats are falling on the floor. They're brand new. They're not even... They're brand new Jim Bob hats. And if I haven't mentioned, part of this whole wait a minute, one of these things is low. That one right there. Part of this whole thing with this Jim Bob channel that I started doing, I'm like, okay, everybody kind of likes what I'm doing, and they like me doing dumb stuff and fixing lawnmowers and kind of teaching and stuff like that. I actually got kind of a following, and a lot of my friends and neighbors and stuff, they wanted hats, so we ended up making the Jim Bob hats. They're available. I don't have any other than these two right now. I got the pink and white, and I got the charcoal black and blue. I do have some beanies, but hopefully we're out of that weather soon, so those won't interest you. And there's the beam I just hit my head on. But yeah, that's a thing too. So we do have some limited merch. I haven't made shirts yet, but I think I'm gonna at some point. I just got to come up with a cool looking design and, you know, something fun. But that's where we're at. Okay, we got the aluminum wheel on the steel bracket. Seems like it's gonna work okay. Let's go ahead and put it on the tractor. Silly me, I said tractor. I meant to say race mower. Alright, so here's the governor where the governor rod used to be, that hole right there. Let's take this off, that's not even connected. That's where it used to be right there. And I'm also bolting to this hole right here, down here. Right down here. So, we're going to put this on. Hopefully, I probably have to take it off again, but I think I've had this whole bracketry system on and off like 3 to 30 times, something like that. So it's all part of the process, guys. I mean, there's no perfect answer unless you're going to spend money for stuff. And, you know, you can build it yourself just as easy. It just takes a little thinking about it and staring at it. And don't get discouraged, because even me, I have a lot of experience fabricating things, different things I've fabricated. I still correct myself. I still change my mind. I still come up with good ideas. Sometimes I get something fabricated. I'm going to change it. That's kind of what I do. This would be a great. And I wish I had a different place to put this, to mount this tab, but I don't. But I think this is sufficient. It's not going to bother anything here. Worst case scenario is it seeps a little oil because it's not sealed. So then what I would do is take it out, silicone the bolt. But we gotta see if it works first before we get all fancy. You're gonna build stuff, you're gonna come up with ideas quite a few times before you get it perfect. You might not even get it perfect at some point. You might just get it good enough to work and be reliable. That's really all that matters. But I kind of like automation and wheels and gears, and I would have concentrated. I probably could have been a designer or serious fabricator and actually got paid for it. But when we're young, we don't think about that. Alright, so we got our bolts tightened up. We got our wheel. Now, like, the tension on this needs to be adjusted, like, big time, because I want to make sure this nut's secure. I'm probably going to Loctite it. I might even tack weld it right where it is. And I just want the correct amount of tension on this wheel. So now, let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to grab this linkage rod that I made, and we're going to hope it works. And I'm going to keep moving this light around because it's always in my way. And if it's not in my way, it'll be in your way. I don't want it in the camera's way. I want you to see what's going on, but you don't want it in my way either. That's going to have to work right there. So this is going to go through this hole. It's going to do one of them numbers. Alright, now here's the bugaboo. I got two Z's going different directions, so we got to make it work in the carburetor. So I'll put this on the carburetor first. Hopefully. This is a different rod. This might be thicker. I might need to make this hole bigger in the carburetor. Nope, it went in. And we're going to put it in here. And as we do that, hopefully, I'm planning on we can slide the carburetor into place. Oh, I don't know. It'll be tight. Alright, I think we got it. There we go. This, you know what? Let me take care of this. I talked about this the other night too. You know this wire right here? I kept leaving it on there. We don't need it. That thing doesn't even work. I got to get a plug for that. I'm not even going to have that solenoid on there. So, let me throw these on here, and I'm going to show you the next problem. Because I already see a problem. And you guys are like, what is wrong with you? Well, I see a problem, don't worry. So, we're spinning our wheel. So, by spinning our wheel, you can see the carburetor linkage up top. This is closed, that's open, closed, open, closed, open. Now on the back side of this wheel, where this linkage is now is fine, but if I go all the way down sometimes, if this linkage moves in, it hits the weld back there and it doesn't let it open up all the way. So I'm going to have to address that too, but we're not going to worry about that now. So basically, look how free that is. I love how free that is. I'm going to have... Filming this is hard, guys, because I want to make sure you see and you're looking at what I'm looking at when I'm talking. But, so I got to look at my phone. And it's going to be pulling down because down is idle. All right. I'm probably going to come out with a tab on one of these shields down here, or maybe the cover. Once I put the cover on the motor, it's going to be pulling to idle. And I also want to put a backup one down here on this wheel somewhere too. That's just kind of my deal because I don't have a governor on this engine. This engine's not going to save it. That if something goes wrong with the pedal, something goes wrong with the linkage, this thing doesn't go wide open because we're going to have pistons coming out here and we're going to have rods coming out there. So that's the way that is. So now all we got to do is figure out our throttle pedal, and we have our cable. I should be able to put this cable in here like so. This could be a lot simpler, guys. I know. I might be making it too difficult, but, and I designed this thing to go in from the backside, and I didn't put it on. I put the wheel on, and I didn't even think about it. Purpose so that it wouldn't fall off. So this slot down on this wheel is not the same thickness all the way through. So you have to loosen that up to put that on. So if something does happen, it can't slide out the front slot. So there's that. Okay, we're going to have the cable doing something like this. The cable's going to be down here. I got to figure out my distance of travel. Now I also have to figure out my mounting here. This is going to have a twist mount on it. I have it over here somewhere. It's over here in the box of parts. You think I'd be able to find it to show you real quick, but I don't know if... You know, it has a name, but I don't know what, I forget what it's called. I must have pulled it out of the box already because it's not in the box. My benches. You know what? I should probably clean it. Slob. But anyway, it's here. I don't know where, but it's here. And it is one of those fittings that goes on yonder. And it's kind of like on the brakes of your bicycle. It's that type of same thing. So we're going to use that. It's going to slide over here. And we're going to have to make a bracket coming off this bracket somehow. Weld something up. But before I do the foot pedal, I have to have the running boards on, I have to have the fenders on, and then we'll figure out that linkage. So what I'm trying to say, I have enough to do during the day, but it keeps my brain focused on something. Okay, so I don't go crazy or I don't get in a... I love engineering new stuff, and I love it when it doesn't work and I gotta go over and do it again. As you can see, the throttle linkage, we did that 3 times. I think we're done now. Okay, these 2 pieces because we might have to have them for another project some other time, but that's how we do it. That's how it gets done. You don't need fancy tools. I'm not buying expensive parts. I could go buy parts if I needed them or wanted them. I've been tempted. I have to be honest with you. I just wanted to go to EC Carburetors online and buy all the parts that I need. But I'm like, these guys are on forums. They're asking questions about what do I do for a throttle. What do I do for a pulley? How do I mount my rear end? Here's my mower. I want to build one. What do I do? I just want to give you guys a channel. I'm not a professional race tractor builder. All right? I'm just giving you my ideas. I know some things. I've done research myself also, and I can have some answers for you. So that's why I make these videos. That's why I'm so got you all up into every step, because I know it's helping somebody out there. And by the time it's said and done, I might be a professional race garden mower builder. All right, maybe we'll get into some titanium frames and some small block Chevys and slap them in a lawnmower. Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. The next step's going to be the throttle pedal and how we're going to figure it out. I won't show you how I'm thinking about it, because it'll just make you crazy staring at me with me scratching my head for hours. But once I get that going, we'll be back, we'll move forward, and I'll bring you with me. Thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe, tell your friends. I love it. We'll see you later.